So the research is based on stomach and pancreatic cancers. These cancers have several things in common. They're among the most common and lethal cancers in the world. They're also both cancers of the upper digestive system, and interestingly they're also both caused by chronic inflammation that's triggered by overactivation of the immune system.
Tell us, which aspects of these cancers are you investigating?
Yeah, so we're really focusing in on the immune system, and in particular genes of the immune system that drive these cancers. And this is evidenced by the fact that current therapies that target these cancers are not really that effective. For example, immunotherapy against specific subsets of immune regulators called immune checkpoints. And these aren't really effective at giving patients much benefit in the clinic. So we think there's a real need now to identify new genes of the immune system that drive these cancers, and these can then be targeted for new drugs.
I think a lot of people would be surprised that an organisation like the US Defence Department is funding this kind of research. But what's the connection?
Yeah, so the United States Department of Defence, they have a really rich history actually of funding groundbreaking medical research around the world. And the reason they focus on cancers is, if you think about it, a lot of the military personnel, they're actually exposed to a lot of chemical carcinogens, for example, when they're out on the battlefield. And so there's a real need for the United States Department of Defense to understand how these cancers are caused, because obviously if there are drugs and therapies against these cancers, that will then benefit the military. Stomach and pancreatic cancers, as I said, are among the most common and lethal cancers in the world. So there's obviously a lot of people in the general population that are affected by them. But in addition to the military themselves, it's also the families of the military.
What's the long-term aim of this research? What would you like to see come out of it, and what kind of time frames are we talking?
Yeah, so this research will now really provide the foundation for us to identify how a new family of immune system regulators called pattern recognition receptors drive these cancers, and therefore we can actually now find ways of targeting and blocking the actions of these pattern recognition receptors, and this can then lead to the development of new drugs to use in immunotherapy down the track in the next 5 to 10 years against these cancers.